My joy and delight to be here. And this morning, what I'm very present to is the contrast. So I'm going to invite all of us to take a moment of silence for the people that were on the plane and the helicopter that crashed last night and all perished. So in the earlier prayer circle that I led, we took a moment of silence for them, for their families. So if you'll join me for just a moment and bring into your awareness, you don't need to know the names or the faces, just sending love, appreciation, blessings to each and every person that was on the flight, the helicopter, and the airplane. And now, just bringing your awareness back into this space. I am so grateful for our space. I am so grateful for the collective consciousness and the frequency that's been established here. We're living in a time where there is so much division and separation and expectation from people to think a certain way, to be a certain way. And I've had the privilege and honor the past week to speak and pray on some different stages, live and virtual. And what strikes me very clearly is that the great Yeshua did not say, love thy brother as thyself, as long as they agree with you, as long as they vote like you, as long as they believe like you. There wasn't a disclaimer to this directive, and one could call it in our vernacular a call to action. It was a statement, love thy brother, and I'm adding love thy brother and thy sister as thyself. So that means as you are. There's a saying in spiritual circles, at least this is what my understanding is, like, come as you are. Pema Chodron, the great teacher, says, start where you are. So start where you are. No judgment. But yet I witness, sometimes I think of it as spiritual malpractice, right? People that are on spiritual paths that espouse love and oneness, yet attack other people, live in a state of fear, make declarations about people based on news media reels. Some of you may know that I had a career as a press agent in the entertainment industry, and I was one of the people that created narratives for particular people, for projects, for films. Now, I was involved in doing this for good, for entertainment. There are a couple projects that were, like, I worked on a film for Native Americans called To Protect Mother Earth. So I understand how the news media and even some of the influencers on social media, I understand the lure, the pull, the amplification of a point of view to help influence people, which is why spiritual practice is so vital. It's not just a throwaway. It's essential and crucial to live a prosperous life, a harmonizing life, a fulfilling life. Otherwise, without even realizing it, you're captured, right? It's like multitasking when you're somewhere. It's like your body is here, but you're on your screen, or you're either on your computer or you're on your tablet or you're on your phone. But I'm here, my body's here, but you're not really present. And I know for me, I'm on, a lot of meetings, and I'm with clients. When I'm with client, there's nothing that distracts. That's present. I'm there, right there. And sometimes when I'm on Zoom meetings, I'm on the Zoom on my phone, and maybe something is really important on my laptop. I think it's important, which is where spiritual practice comes in. Am I present? Am I fully present in every moment? Am I bringing my discernment to this situation? Or am I bringing my preconceived assumptions? Only you can answer that, because your life, your choices, your beliefs are between you and your higher power of your choosing. Because we can say a lot of things publicly. We can make a lot of declarations to, on social media, in meetings and things. But if people are with you offline, how are you living your life? Is your life being influenced by what this person or that person says? Are you allowing yourself to be hijacked? Your thoughts, right? That's why I love the whole idea of, creative thoughts, right? That creative impulse, that God that is within you at the very center of your being, is a creative impulse that's always seeking to express more of itself through you. There's no ceiling to God. There's no ceiling to spiritual practice. No one has a monopoly on God, and nobody reaches a height and goes, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I've meditated as much as I had a great meditation yesterday. To meditate. Oh yeah, that prayer was great. Oh, I was so good yesterday. I just gave. I don't need to give today. Right? Spiritual malpractice is saying you believe something and having a different action. I see people that are very spiritual attacking people on social media, making declarations and proclamations about people. And I think, where's your pity? Where's your law of attraction? Where's your practice? What happened? What you think about, you bring about. Abracadabra. I create as I speak. So what are you speaking into being? If you don't like somebody, if you don't like a political leader, are you going to continue to bang the drum about how terrible they are and they're this and they're that? Or are you going to activate your spiritual practice and declare what you like to see? Raise them up, right? That's what the great master teacher, the one who is so many people's Lord and Savior, talked about. As I raise myself up, I raise all with me. He's speaking about consciousness. Everything in the Bible is consciousness. So we come here in the mornings, Monday through Friday, to cleanse our hearts and our minds so that we may have a new experience of life, of love, of God, of the divine, of prosperity. And when I talk about prosperity, oftentimes people think it's money. And money is an aspect and a demonstration of prosperity. But prosperous living means you're having mutually respectful, loving relationships, harmonizing good, harmony in your spirit. harmony in your relationships. So my wish for each and every person, the work that I have been committed to doing for myself and helping others do, is healing those limiting beliefs, that generational trauma, so you can find moksha, self-liberation, because you're here on purpose with a purpose to be of service to others. It's not about hoarding. Oh, good, I'm all spiritual. I got it. And I'm doing this tongue in cheek because I have a dry sense of humor. So when you're watching this, please don't, or if you're listening to the audio, please don't think I'm judging. I'm trying to make it funny because I know what that's like. Oh, I got that. I know this, right? But I'm not practicing it. Have you ever met anybody that does that? Where they say all these things and then you're with them and you're like, what? I mean, we're human, so we fall, right? That's why we might stumble and pick ourselves up. But where are we in spiritual malpractice? Where are we saying, I believe in the highest, greatest good. I believe that each and every person is one with the one. As I see that person, I see myself. Where are we saying that? Even teaching that, even in our yoga classes or meditation classes, but then we're attacking someone. And, there's somebody, I remember Michael Beckwith saying that we don't describe what we see what we describe. So what that means is what I'm saying about what are you speaking into existence? A world, like Einstein said, a world that is for you or a world that's against you. So you have to arm yourself and move through the world like that. I feel like I'm talking to myself. Yes, there are people, there are, sometimes things that are not of the highest vibration. But what I know is that as you raise your vibratory frequency, as you've heard me say on and on, your vibrational thermostat, the universe being a reciprocal universe, corresponds by responding to the frequency that you emit. That is why so many times people can state things, and they're not necessarily experiencing that because they've got to raise their vibrational thermostat to be a vibrational match for that which they're declaring. Does that make sense? Yeah. So let's toss out perfection and let's bring in a willingness to transform at the deepest level of our being, a willingness to have our words and our actions match. Years ago, first clue, I was involved with someone and he had on his wall, he had the word trust me, like a thing. And I remember feeling like, why would somebody put that on their wall? Like, that's a really interesting, piece of artwork to have on your wall. And what I learned from that relationship that I was in is that for me to trust somebody, their words and their actions must align 97% of the time. That 3%, little wiggle room, sometimes there's an omission. You don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, so maybe you might not be as direct. I strive to be as direct as possible because that's how trust is built. If somebody's kind of wishy-washy or they change their mind or they don't own their stuff and you see it, it's hard to trust them, right? But if you know where someone stands, if you know that they're going to back what they say with action, you can trust them. It's just like a child. How does a child know their wholeness? Because it's reflected back to them from their primary caregivers, usually their moms, but in some homes, it's the dads. On a consistent basis, this parent is reflecting back to them, I love you, I see you, you're wonderful, you're beautiful, you're brilliant. Okay, wait, we need to refine this. Yeah, that wasn't maybe the best action to take, and I still love you and I'm not going anywhere. Now that's a perfect scenario of soul-led parenting. Yes? But we get to do that for ourselves. And when we are healthy enough, we get to hold that space for other people. But if you're operating from spiritual malpractice, if you're operating from speaking with a forked tongue, if you're operating from, I know it all. I've been doing this for years and years. I don't need to know anything. I'm good. Where's the humility? Where's that willingness to be teachable? I am a lifelong learner. I've been doing this work for decades myself, but I'm humble. I'm always learning. That's why I go places and study with people. I'm continually, working on myself, my inner self. I'm always open to new ways and new ideas and seeing how that fits, because I want to be of maximum service to the people that are in front of me. And yes, I know some stuff. I know you know some stuff. But we get to be open at the top. We get to be humble. We get to support each other. We get to lean in. We get to say, are my words and actions matching? Am I operating from spiritual malpractice right here? Am I saying that I'm all about love and oneness, but except when it comes to that person? When it comes to that person, no, they're this, they're that. And yes, people may give evidence of that. So not denying or dismissing, right? We all have families. We all know how people can be. One with God is a majority. Each and every person here is a reflection, is an emanation of the Most High God, the Most High Good, the Most High Love. What are we speaking into existence? How present are we in places and spaces? Are we fully present? Are we distracted? Is this thing in front of me more important than the person that's in front of me? We only know this ourselves. Are our words and actions matching? And when they don't, do we clean it up? Do we go back first and check within ourselves what was motivating in that moment? What was leading me to say, to do, to speak, right? Say and speak are the same thing. What was motivating me in this moment? What do I need to transform within myself to be a source for a transformed world? And then do I need to go back to that person and say to them, gosh, the way I said that, when I did that, I apologize. That didn't feel good to me. It's just like when I'm working with parents and I talk about repairing a rupture of trust. When that happens, we get to go back and clean it up. We get to see, we get to search within ourselves. Where am I in alignment with what I'm saying? Where am I out of alignment? Am I a trustworthy person? Am I in spiritual malpractice, or where am I just not? These are questions you get to answer for yourself, because no one will know you better than you, right? You're the one you're with at 3 a.m. when you wake up, or 2 a.m., 4 a.m. You're the one that's there. Usually, even if you're in a relationship, they're sleeping, you're up. So you have in front of you such an extraordinary opportunity to amplify that wisdom that is right at the center of your being, that no one can take that from you. Even in moments of some terrible situations that people have been through, it's those moments when they get to amplify and reconnect with the wisdom of their being and know that they are an expression of the divine, that there is something greater, grander, and more glorious that awaits them, that allows people to navigate some of the most horrendous situations. And these are examples. No one here do I expect for anybody to put themselves in a situation that has them in danger. But my invitation is do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Do you want someone who doesn't speak truth to you? Do you want somebody who's busy surfing the web while you're in front of them? Do you want somebody who is able to sit and receive you? Do you want somebody to say, I'll be there, and they're there? Do you want that? Do you want to open your heart to seeing the highest and the best in people, even when they're not showing up that way? And that goes for yourself too. Are you able to repair the rupture? Are you willing to be humble? Some people that I've met have a very, very difficult time saying, I apologize. It's a really curious behavior. And then there's other people that are apologizing for everything that they're not even responsible for. Right? The I'm sorry's. I'm sorry. So I have more to say on that, but I'm not going to say that in this moment. But my invitation to you this morning is to simply rest in the love of God. Rest and know that you are held so closely, and that you are here to be a source for a transformed world, and that you impact everyone that you are in contact with, whether you know it or you don't. So you matter. And you are the creator of your life experience. So we'll move into the silence. We're going to run over a little bit this morning for those that have to jump off. I understand. And I invite you to continue to just sit in this space. This space has been prepared since early this morning. So I'm going to just, for those that are watching on another platform, I'm going to stop this for the people that are on Zoom, and we're going to move into